Tasama Bumbo Manifestatus Adoma Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Dena 2. Amen. Good morning. Today is Gibbot 30th. So tomorrow we start a new month on the Ethiopian calendar. You guys know what month it's going to be? No, not Hamlin. No. Sene. Okay, we will start Sene, and we'll celebrate Mikael on Sunday. It's a big holiday. So I wanted to ask about what instrument did I tell you guys about last time? Sanasa. What do you think Sanasa represents?
Trinity.
No, not the Trinity. Anyone remember? What does the Sanasa represent? What do we sing about? Why we sing Salat Zamuse and Sanasale? Who does it represent? Who's that? Dingle Mariam. It's for Virgin Mary, okay? Also, the Sanasa represents the ladder of Jacob, Jacob's ladder, okay? Like a ladder has two sides and the steps to bring you to heaven. I wanted to read today about the kebero. This is from the book made by Ethiopian priest that was a scholar in England. I have to get his name right. Oh well, I'll have to tell his name next time. He says, people are complaining about the persistence of the church in using the old instruments, as they want some modern instruments introduced. The church argues that the instruments used for secular occasions should not be used in the church for ritual purposes. It justifies that every instrument used during the liturgical service and every activity in the liturgical service has biblical symbolic interpretations. The interpretations attributed to the kebero, the drum, the sanasal, the sistrum, and the makwamia, the staff, and the movements while singing with them, the performance of the hymn is discussed here for the purpose of exemplification. Okay, Raphael, I'm going to ask you to pick up the kebero. The kebero has Old Testament origin. It is found in the Psalms and also in the book of Exodus. Its function in the New Testament symbolizes Jesus Christos, and the play with it represents his beating by the Jews during his crucifixion. The main body, made of wood, gold or silver or iron, represents Christ's body. The two opposite ends, the wide end and the narrow end, are examples of his divine and human nature of Christ respectively. The skin that covers these ends is also symbolic of the crown made of thorns and put on his head during the Jews' crucifixion. In one version of the Andemta, a book of interpretations of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, the colored cloth that covers the kebero is an example of the bandage that the Jews used to cover Jesus' face while beating him, asking to recognize who is beating him in the quest of his divine nature. In another version of the Andemta, this cloth is an example of the cloth which Jesus was shrouded at his death. The strips of skin by which the cloth and the skin covers of the two ends are fastened with the main body of the kebero symbolize the scars on Jesus' body during his flagellation. The woven belt, the strip of cloth used for hanging the kebero, is a representation of the whip that Christ was whipped with. The inner part of the kebero is left empty to represent the grave of Christ, for it became empty after his resurrection. There are few small solid particles or pebbles, even though in a rare case, move it up and down, see if there's pebbles in it. Yeah, this kebero has no pebbles. Sometimes these pebbles, they represent a game called gebeta. It was a traditional game that the Jews would play with pebbles or beads. They played this while they were whipping Christos in turn. The play with the kebero has its own steps and interpretations. The clergymen first dance slowly, following the rhythmic chant, and beat the kebero accordingly. This beat on both sides of the kebero shows the Jews beating Jesus repeatedly before and after, covering his face. As the rhythm of the chant increases, the clergy too increases the rhythm of the beating of the kebero, to show that the Jews at last beat Christos harshly and mercilessly. The sound of the kebero is believed to be the sound of divinity or the Holy Spirit in view of Orthodox believers. I wasn't here last week for Pentecost, so welcome Pentecost. We are going to do one mezmor for Pentecost that we practiced, but I wasn't able to do it with the Legions because we weren't here. So please enjoy our mezmor. Memphis Kidus We would like to do one quick mezmor for Som. For Hawariat Som, we are doing one mezmor to remind people to fast with their eyes and their tongue and their ears. So, yes, O meine, yes, O mesane, is deni, yes, O me, en semia. Yes, O meine, yes, O lesane, es veni, yes, O men, en semia, yes, O men, bete facero, yes, O meine, yes, O lesane, es veni, yes, O men, en semia, yes, O men, bete facero. Express the lid.